Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and I thought I'd do a video today talking about my page kits. I've received several questions, and I thought I would just do a video just talking about the overview of the whole thing. So the first thing that I do is I just grab a stack of pattern paper. You've seen it in the first 5 videos, and I go through and choose some pages that will go together. Now I just stack them one on top of the other like this for now, but they're all divided in, it's easy enough to know, where it starts and where it ends. Like this is the pink one, so that'll be the first one, then the second one. Now once I have this all done, then I go into my stash and I have several ways that I decide on the embellishments. Sometimes I use leftover embellishments. Sometimes I use brand new packages and stickers and all this stuff. And once I choose the embellishments, I use an iris tray. Little sneak peek here of the January class. That's I'm preparing for January. Then I divide my embellishments into the iris tray. This is actually an iris tray that I made myself, and right now the tutorial for this is on my in my store, in my shop, for I think it's $5 because it's 50% off for Black Friday, and it'll show you how to make your own iris tray like this out of chipboard. So then I divide all my embellishments like this, and then I'll have all the stickers and embellishments that I want to use with all the page kits. So in this case, we're making 30 page kits. So as I'm choosing embellishments from my stash, I make sure that there's enough that I can divide between 30 page kits. Now, when I look at embellishments, I think about the pattern papers. Sometimes I'll take out a few pattern papers just to get the tones of pinks and whether I have purples or blues. And then I choose the embellishments that way. Now, so I keep the embellishments in this. Now, once I start making the page kits, we'll choose this, and then I'll choose a whole bunch of embellishments. Once I have embellishments for this specific page kit, then I put them in these Ziploc bags. They're like oversized Ziploc bags. You can get them at the dollar store. They're, let me see how big they are. They're 13 3/4, so almost 14 by 17 long. So it fits a 12 by 12. Now I stick all the embellishments in there. If I decide, that I want to add some stickers or stamps or anything like that, I put everything in there. Now I'm going to show you a page kit that is ready to go. I have the photo in there. I have some puffy stickers. I have a stamp set. I even have some twine, a whole bunch of embellishments. So I put everything in there. Usually at this point, I don't even know what pictures I'm going to use. But sometimes as I'm putting the pattern papers together, I think of a page that I want to, or pictures that I want to do with that. So this is where this comes in. I write down the pictures that I think. And if I think of a washi tape that I really like to use, I stick that on this here too. And once everything's in there, you can label them. Like this is when I believe that sticker was put there when I did like 70 page kits at once. So I wanted to keep them in order just because I just wanted to make sure that I scrapbooked all of them. Now let me just see, RHH had a few questions, so I want to make sure that I answer all of them. Yes, usually I choose between 3 and 4 pattern papers. I always put 1 cardstock sheet at least. And if I decide on stamps or ribbons or tags, I put everything in there that I want. And how many do I do? How many DIY kits do I do? Usually, depending. If I go to a crop and I know I'm going to be there all weekend, and usually I do between 20 and 25 pages, I'll make sure to make at least 30 page kits to go on that weekend. Now, I don't just make page kits to go away. I make page kits for in my scrap room at home, because I find if I have only 45 minutes that I want to scrapbook, I can just grab a page kit and I'm ready to do that page. Now the only difference, if I make page kits to go away at a crop, before I go away to the crop, I make sure that I add my photos to each and every single one of the page kits, and I do the journaling before I go on my crop, because that way I don't have to think while I'm chatting with other people. I can just go ahead and the journaling's already done. Oh, I have an example right here. This is some journaling that I did to go to a crop. And then I know this was for page kit number 1. My journaling is already done. When I go to page kit number 1, I keep all the journaling like this together with a clip. And I go, okay, kit number 1, done. And then once I'm done, I just, like put it to the side or say that it's done. Now, yes, I do put quite a bit of embellishments. I would say as far as number of embellishments, I put between 15 and 30, because you got to think you got at least 3 embellishment clusters, and you want to put at least 5 or 6 per embellishment clusters. So that's right there is almost 20, and I add way more than I need. So what do I do with the leftovers? Like what's left? I have this little container that I keep on my desk, and every time I finish a page kit, I throw it in there. And then once it gets sort of out of control, what I do is I make page kits with the leftovers. And the same thing with the pattern papers. I just, as I'm finishing page kits, I choose one of these and I put all my leftover pattern papers in one of these. And as if it gets too big, then I make some more page kits. Now you could choose, a container that you put everything in for the pattern papers. I just find that using one of this really works, because I did it once that I brought this to a crop, and this and I ended up making page kits with that, and I was able to put a whole bunch of pages together. Now, how do I keep my pattern papers in my room? I have several ways, because every time I start making page kits, I go to different spots depending on how I feel, because a lot of this is how I feel. So one spot I have, it's a wire basket, and if you go to I have 2 or 3 videos about my scrap room, and I show you my entire scrap room. Now, once these are all done and into page kits, the wire basket that's near my sink, so when you look at that video, the one that's near my sink, that's where I put my completed page kits ready to scrap. I keep those in there. Now my pattern papers, I have another wire basket that has only single sheets of pattern papers like this. And usually it's from, different manufacturers. I don't keep them all together. And when I'm ready to start making page kits, I just grab that and I start choosing from there. I have another area where I keep the pattern papers by manufacturers. So if I know that I have a lot of grid papers that are from Studio Calico, well, I can go to my Studio Calico pile, and I know there's grid papers there. And another pile is I keep them by color, because I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 7 years, so I have a lot of Stampin' Up! Pattern papers. And if you know Stampin' Up!, they have like a color wheel, like different color families. So I just divide them, not by the color families, but like blue, purple, red, yellow. So that's another way I keep my pattern papers. And then the last of the pattern papers, or 2 more ways, is pattern paper pads. So I have a spot where I keep pattern paper pads. So if I want to start making page kits where I use only pattern paper pads, I go to get my pattern paper pads. Whew. Then another way I keep my pattern papers is again by manufacturers, but it's pattern papers that are in kits like this. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 containers from Michaels that I had them all divided by manufacturers, but kept in those plastic envelopes. Okay, I think that's it. I think I've answered all the questions. If you have more questions, make sure to answer in the comments below. And also up until December 3rd, I'm doing a giveaway. So if you comment, if you like, if you share my videos and on Facebook. If you join my Facebook group and do the same thing there, comment on the Facebook group, or Twitter or Instagram, you'll be entered for a chance to win one of my classes. And up until December 3rd, all my classes are on for 50% off. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.